Ho, ho, ho. Gotta go, gotta go. Gotta get these gifts to some kids I know. Oh, oh. We've switched from standing at home, relaxed, to really serious at work. I'm acting like a military chaplain right now. God damn the communists. That's a quote from something I heard in Mass once. It's nicotine. It's tobacco. Don't worry. Decided to pack some of my own. But being that it's Christmas, I wanted to speak of the priesthood and Catholicism and faith. I don't know if any of you know this, but I was meant to be a priest the same as my father was meant to be a priest, and neither of us became priests. I was exiled during my time as an altar boy. I was cast aside. They asked me back. See, that's the thing. They didn't want me around, but then they realized I was necessary. They called me back, and I said, fuck no. I went out to see other things on my own after that to see how they all relate. But just having said no and turning my back on the priesthood didn't mean I was done with the faith immediately. You can say, oh yeah, you just quit it. You didn't even put any thought into it. No, it took me years to finally give up on it altogether. I went ahead and got my confirmation. I took my name, Brandon. I chose it specifically because it was not the name of any saint that we know of, and no name in the Bible. It's not a requisite to have those things, and because it's not, I chose one that's not anywhere in there, as far as I knew at the time. And so I continued with the Catholic faith even after they'd cast me aside from my calling. And through the years, even in Saudi Arabia is the last time I ever went to a mass. But before that, while I was at Fort Bragg, I would go to mass still. I would sit in the back pew, as my dad always did. He and I would sit in the back pew for some reason, so I kept doing it. And I guess that's the best way to see when they're about to come at you. But I would sit back there and I read Revelation in the back pew because there was a Bible always in the little holder behind the seat in the pew. And I would sit back there. And when I finished reading Revelation, I quit going to mass there. But in that time, there was that 82nd Airborne priest who would stand up there and preach. And there was the one day he said, God damn the communists. And I was like, wow. It struck me that was pretty far out, pretty linear, pretty just one-sided to be able to just say screw these people as a whole, God fuck them. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I was already losing it, And then when I was in Saudi, I would go to masses. I did a couple. The second or third one I went to, and I watched all these people in the dirt giving their faith to the Lord. And I looked around and I said, that's enough for me. I'm not doing that either. And I quit going to mass over there. It's nicotine. It's hard to keep going. And then within a couple of years, I would pray and everything went to hell. And so I decided to quit praying altogether. I don't need to be sharing my thoughts with some other god so some other god can get in the way and screw everything up. Realize that what we really need is to have faith in ourselves. If you're watching this video right now, it's because God wants you to see this. He wants you to make a bunch of money so you can give it to the church.